The Dick Van Dyke Show. Starring Dick Van Dyke. Rosemary, Maury Amsterdam, Larry Matthews, and Mary Tyler Moore.
Hello, Dick Van Dyke Show friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is KJ Ricardo. Today's episode is a look at my list of the top 5 Robert Petrie moments of Season 4 of the Dick Van Dyke Show. There are 5 really good episodes this season that featured Rob, so let's get started. Number 5 is The Man from Emperor. This episode features Rob in a really great way. He is invited to work for Emperor magazine. Now this magazine is inspired by Playboy magazine, and the man who runs this magazine is very much like Hugh Hefner. He has a mansion. There's a lot of beautiful women at this mansion, so this episode is very much inspired and influenced by Playboy in the 1960s. Rob is invited to work at this magazine, but he discovers that it won't work out for him. He can't leave the Alan Brady show for this magazine, and I like this episode because it primarily focuses on Rob and the small aspect of his life. Number 4 is A Farewell to Writing. This episode is technically Season 5, but it was included in my Season 4 box set of the DVDs, so that's why it's included in this video. Rob wants to write a novel, but he's distracted at home. He finds everything he could possibly find as a distraction. He's procrastinating. He has writer's block at home. And so Laura decides to send him to a cabin that's owned by one of Rob's friends who recently published a novel. And this is what inspired Rob to finish that great American novel idea that he had. But even at the cabin where he's secluded and by himself, he still finds ways to procrastinate. And I really like this episode because it focuses on Rob and his writing, but also there's comedy because of course it's Rob and Dick Van Dyke, but in the end it really focuses on him as a writer. Number 3 is Wroom, Wroom, the motorcycle episode. Rob buys a motorcycle and he's acting very much like a typical guy in this episode where he loves his motorcycle and he wants to take it out and ride it everywhere. There's one scene where he's sitting on the motorcycle at night and he's imagining himself riding it. It's a really great scene. I have a clip of this, so enjoy. Laura doesn't like the motorcycle. She thinks that it will occupy Rob's time, but also she thinks he will get hurt on it. So he decides to take it out and he goes to a local barbecue stand place where a lot of bikers are at. He meets fellow bikers. He gets in a situation there. A cop comes, and so Rob is in a very sticky situation with a cop. Eventually, Rob decides, maybe I'm not cut out to be a biker, to have a motorcycle, and he gives the motorcycle up. Number 2 is The Death of the Party. This is another great episode featuring Rob. In the beginning, he's going to go golfing in the morning before work. Laura knows that once he goes golfing, he's going to get sick, and she's having a dinner party with her relatives later that night. she knows that he's going to get sick. He promises that he won't, but he gets sick. He's at work and he's a sick boy. He has a fever, but when he comes home, he decides to hide it, to try to cover up that he's not sick, because he doesn't want Laura to be right. And he doesn't want to ruin her party too. And so he's faking it. He's pretending that he's okay, and Laura doesn't pick up on anything. She thinks that he's okay, even though he's clearly not. Whenever she's not in the room, he passes out. He takes his temperature. He's like, I am sick. He has a fever. Eventually, we have the party scene. And Rob does pretty well at the party whenever he's in the room with the other guests. He goes into the kitchen a lot, but we get a game of charades, and Rob is acting out, and eventually he passes out. He collapses. But I like this episode because it further includes Dick Van Dyke's physical comedy in a really nice way. But my number one pick is 100 Terrible Hours. I love this episode. It's so great. It's a flashback episode when Rob was a disc jockey at a radio station in Danville, Illinois. Rob is participating in a Stay Awake-a-thon, where he is going to break the record for staying awake. He's going to stay awake for 100 hours. That's over 4 days. So he's participating in this, and there are so many great scenes in this episode. Rob is slowly losing his mind. He becomes emotional. He can't think very clearly. He can't even work the disc and basically do his job as a disc jockey. That's out the window. I love this episode because it's Dick Van Dyke. It's his comedy, his physical comedy. Everything is so great in this episode. It's what makes Dick Van Dyke a comedy genius, in my opinion. I have put together my favorite scenes from this episode in a little montage. So sit back, enjoy, and watch these wonderful, hilarious clips.
To start that countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rob, you're on the air, and stay awake for the next 100 hours.
Just kidding there, gang. This is Wide Awake Robbie, baby boy. And I'm just fine because I'm all yours and you're all mine. Starting out the first hour of what may be one of the most important hours in radio history, my death. Okay, gang, get ready. Here we go. It's going up on the board. 24 hours. Huh? How about that? And I'm still fresh as a daisy, gang. Not old Doc Gage, though. Boy, he's home in bed. Well. Looks like the replacements are here.
Peter Piper, please. Peter Piper.
Okay, well, folks, look like it's Peter Piper time again. Here we go. Peter Piper picked a pepper pickles, and Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pipers. How many people did Pickle Piper pick? How's that? What do you say?
Oh, wrong.
Wrong?
Wrong.
Huh? You're kidding. Peter Piper Piper Picker. Hey, gang, guess who can't say that anymore? Yeah, that's right, your old wide awake friend, Robbie Piper. Petrie.
Local firemen were called out an hour ago to try and rescue a 9-week-old kitten stranded on top of a huge elm tree on Maple Street. So far, the frightened cat has eluded their grasp. Poor little pussycat. Lighter side, that's Carol. Poor little furry thing. Oh, golly, I'm with you, pussycat. Hey, don't be afraid, little pussycat. We're just trying to help you.
Bob, listen, I I got something important to tell you.
Oh, they got the cat down.
No. Get the cat.
Oh, honey, I'm ashamed of you.
Rob, will you listen to me? You got a telegram.
From the kitty?
No. It's from Alan Brady.
Alan Brady?
Yes.
My Alan Brady?
Yes, look.
Oh, boy. What does it say?
Rob, it says that Alan Brady and his producer are in Chicago to interview writers in this area, and he wants to see you.
Oh, yippee!
Yeah.
When?
Tonight at 10 o'clock in his hotel. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, I'm the happiest guy in the whole world, really. We'll get in the car and we'll go see Alan Brady, okay?
Okay.
But first, can we go help that little pussycat? Don't wake him up, he's tired.
Put your head down, you look pale.
Okay.
Where is this genius?
Mr. Brady, I can explain.
Mel, we're looking for writers, not acrobats.
No, he's not an acrobat.
Well, what is he then, drunk?
No, he doesn't drink.
Alan Brady.
Yeah, well, how are
Real
you?
live Alan Brady.
How do you do?
Oh, hi.
What is this, a gag?
No, it's,
What's the matter with him?
and he's just very tired, but he's a very good writer.
Well, he may be, but he makes a lousy first impression. Cat got your tongue?
Cat? That little kitty catty pussycat.
What little kitty catty pussy cat?
Oh, I knew you're a good man. You care.
Yes. What's he doing? He's crying. I know that, but why?
Please stop.
I can't, honey. He's a good man. He cares. Oh, you laugh, clown laugh. He's crying inside.
Mel, get him out of here. Mel, what are you doing? I can't stand to see a grown man cry. You're not going to catch me.
And that's it. That's all I have for you this week. I love Rob. He is such a great character. And Dick Van Dyke, once again, is a comedy genius. His physical comedy is so great. And there were a lot of moments this season that featured that. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Let me know what your favorite episode featuring Rob is from season 4. And I'll be happy to read that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. And remember to always laugh often.